Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. Today, my next guest spent 8 years in the NFL playing for the Washington Redskins and the Cincinnati Bengals. He's also a brilliant broadcaster. He's also a former UCLA Bruin. I know that's dear to his heart. I call him Mr. Number 88, 100% truth. I'm talking about no other than Rick, aka Doc Walker. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, dog, but I can't let you take that year away from me. I
Is
got nine
nine?
years of combat
Is not
duty in.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
man.
okay.
Hey, and it's like I was trying to steal one more to get to a dime,
Right.
but I just ran out of juice.
Ran out of juice.
But
Okay.
no, man, it's good to be on your venue. Sorry about the delay on my part. We had a little
No, that's no
precipitation in
part.
the area. I had to go take mom in to get an exam
Right.
today. So no, but we're rocking and rolling.
Oh, I appreciate you coming on the show. We don't take it lightly, so thank you for
No,
blessing
no.
us
Hey,
with your presence.
I get it. In order to do these things, you have to have willing participants.
Right. Yeah. My first question for you, I want to know is, how do you feel about the game today? The way it's, the way the game is being played.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
So I have to roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it, but it's the best thing for those kids. If I had a
Okay.
kid playing,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be glad that the rules have been modified to help the kids. We had to go through it, and that's all we knew.
Right.
And it was there are a lot of I think of Daryl Stingley rather, pardon me,
Oh
all the
yeah.
time. I think
Yeah.
about the guys that were hit and listless and laying there, but yet you were taught to do that. We went through
Right.
nutcracker drills. We had bull in the ring.
Oh man.
All these things you grew up on. Don't blame us. Blame the
Right.
adults that had kids doing it. Is the way I see it. So now, if these kids aren't been putting their heads down, aren't doing with cervical injuries. And I mean, my last year, I couldn't even turn my neck around. As a matter of fact, it took about 10 years before I could get full range of motion. 10
Wow.
years
Wow.
just from having neck damage and all that. Look, so, but no one would trade it.
Okay.
The only
Okay.
thing we have in common with our armed forces, and nothing because
Mm-hmm.
those are real soldiers, we're
Correct.
playing a fake game that had real implications physically,
Sure.
but there was no mortality, no real death. They lived in a life or death situation. They're
Yeah.
the best on earth. But the commonality to it is that you will have to give up something in this game.
Okay.
And Alex Smith is a perfect example
Man.
of what you give to be a part of that fraternity. He is my hero.
Yeah.
Even when he wasn't playing well, he was still my hero.
So-
Now that he's up elevated his game and he's still
Ooh.
gathering himself, mess
Yeah.
around and let him stay healthy
Yeah.
and give him a running game that will allow him to go into his bag of tricks and play action.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. But I
Yeah.
don't know if they'll get to that. But I do know that he's capable of it if they'll build it around him and quit trying to be cute. But they got
Yeah.
to do what they got to do.
Well, the reason I had asked you that question because I just look at a time when I was coming up and I was watching you, the Hogs, Riggins, Riggs, all those Daryl Green, Art Monk, the posse, which you were a part of. I'm not the posse, the Fun
Fun
Bunch.
bunch. Yeah,
The
fun
Fun
bunch.
Bunch is that the grit because those teams weren't necessarily flashy, but just the grit that you and it leads me to my next question, which
Okay.
it wasn't my second question, but I'll go ahead and jump into it since we already segue to it, which is do you think people do not understand that football is not for everybody? Like it's still a contact sport, and I know that they, like you said, tried to. I don't want to say clean it up, but just tried to make the game a little bit more safer. Do you feel like the average fan still don't understand, man? This is a contact sport, and it's not for everybody.
Well, I've always said that it's NASCAR on cleats.
Okay.
And again, as a parent,
Mm-hmm.
Like if I, as a parent of two kids that played, in Maryland, I wouldn't have wanted them to participate this season.
Okay.
If they living in my house, they don't play.
Okay.
Because they're being pimped more than any group on earth, and that is the college football players that
Oh
play
yeah.
for free. They say, "Oh, they get education." They are building buildings on campus to educate people. They're
Right.
getting a pittance of that revenue. They're getting pimped, and only a percentage of them will go to the National Football League.
Right.
Okay, let's get it straight. This is not like it's going to be 1,000 or 2,000. I don't believe that.
Right.
Most of them get pimped. This is like basketball.
Right.
But they have an opportunity to hit the lottery. Why not? I'm not for and get an education. But these presidents, these universities, man, they're bigger bank robbers than the owners in the NFL. And so, we had a game in there at the Denver Broncos with a guy that had played quarterback at Wake Forest who didn't even know the plays. This
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
$1 trillion entity. Quit being so damn greedy and
Yeah.
carry 3 or 4 quarterbacks.
I've been saying, Doc, I've been saying that for years. You know what? Let me ask you, get your take. Hold up, before you say that, before I ask this question, I agree with everything that you said, Ben Pimp. You remember before the season started, they said, well, if we don't have a football season, you know, the college can't survive. And I'm saying, well, if it's $1 billion industry, what you been doing with the money? Like, where the money at? You mean to tell me if one season don't go on, that everything's gonna fold up? What you been doing with the money?
Cayman Islands, the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Just go to the nicest places on earth, okay? Los Altos, California. They're all out there.
Yeah.
Look, dude, we're sports fans.
Right.
So we don't mind being pimped. We get the thrill of the weekend.
Right.
I mean, for the average person, it's about the tailgate, the beer, the fellowship, the camaraderie, about us against the Cowboy Nation, Giant
Right.
Nation, Eagle Nation. For me, it's strictly bragging rights. I mean, if at the next time we have a parade in DC
Right.
and the football team is named world champions,
Right.
I'm out of here. I mean, I'm
Okay.
only here for one more championship. I
One
need
more.
one more parade,
I'm with
and
you.
I'm giving back to the people that supported us in the 80s.
Right.
Blind love.
Right.
I had people, and all of them were white people that called me and said, "We'd like to invite you over for dinner. We know you don't know anybody here in town." This was in 1980. We hadn't bust a
Wow.
grape, okay?
Wow.
It was unconditional love that me and my teammates received in the early 80s. And we lost the first 5 games. We were
Yeah.
garbage.
Right.
And they never booed us. And they hung with us. Okay, we flipped the script, turned it around. You know the rest. The rest is history. It's a Patriot type run. But these people deserve this. And so, I mean, one more. And then for me, it's sand. It's beach, sand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And frosty cold ones and cigars. I'm out, but I can't leave it until
Right.
that parade.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Well, I need a couple of more, but I get what you I get what you said. I feel like, and my next question for you, because you kind of segue into it a little bit, which is, do you feel like, because I do, that Joe Gibbs is one of the most underrated coaches in the NFL history? Yes, he's in the Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. But the reason I asked that question, you're talking about a man that took 3 different teams. It wasn't just 3 different quarterbacks. He took 3 different entire teams and won a championship, right? Won 3 Super Bowls. And people don't remember. Look, I take nothing from Belichick, but he's had Brady for 12 years. You know, I take nothing away from Bill Parcells, but he had the same team. He had he had those guys. When I look at Joe Gibbs and all the in and out, and they're talking about the greatest of all time of coaches, I'm like, why are you leaving off Joe? And consider he went to NASCAR and became a winner there. I mean, that's just brilliance.
He's a man of faith.
Yes.
He's not a self promoter.
Yes.
he played it down the whole way. His strategy was, we're going to catch him off guard. He
Okay.
played he played these people for suckers. He also, oh, I love this game. He
Uh.
also may have had one of the best staffs ever assembled.
Oh
In
yeah.
that, you don't nobody gives Pettibone his due.
Oh man,
Pettibone was the
Richie.
head coach of the defense.
Yes.
Wayne Sevier was the head coach of special teams.
Yes.
And Joe Gibbs ran that quarterback room.
Right.
So the head of the snake, no
Yep.
matter which one it was, they was in there early morning with Joe. And Joe, I've told people over and over, by 11:45 every Wednesday, I knew we'd win.
Okay.
If unless we blew it or
Right.
turned the ball over.
Sure.
Because when Joe started drawing them circles on the board, at overhead projector,
Right.
he's the most brilliant strategist. But you don't know because he doesn't talk about it. And there's not a book with Joe Gibbs 100 plays, 50
Right.
plays.
Right.
Al Saunders had all this playbook. See, those guys are promoting, and it worked for them. They made a ton of money.
Sure.
And I don't know
sure.
if any of them went anywhere. But what he did was take a little bit from here and there, and then he applied it to the talent he had. His genius, to me, we were 0-2.
All right.
Or maybe 0-3.
Uh-huh.
And he brought 4 guys in for a meeting to say, look, they changed our offense that day.
Wow.
We went from the Chargers to us
Okay.
in a 2-hour meeting when a man who had the Fouts, he had Kellen, he had Jefferson, he
Yep.
had Joyner, he had a monster. And then he came over and was stuck with us. And instead of trying to force a square peg into a round hole,
Right.
he said, okay, here's what you guys do well. Here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Change our personality. And once he turned it into a brawl and turned it into a fight,
Right.
we had a lot of fighters. And then you had young enough guys, crazy enough guys, and our chemistry with our team, with the Rigos and Joe Washingtons and Wilbers and Metcalfs and all these guys, Salty Dog, Stark. We had a guy who'd been through George Allen's system.
Yeah.
We got Mike Nelms, who is an assassin. We had all these killers. And because of Dan Riley, our strength and conditioning coach,
Right.
we had such a clique and we had the whole team clique. It wasn't the white guys in one room, the black guys in another one, the young guys in one. Oh, no. We were intertwined, brother. We had hot dog, chili dog Fridays every Friday. When we won, we had feasts that Joe set up.
Okay.
Every Wednesday, but only if we won.
Okay.
These guys got a $3 or $4, $5 million kitchen, and they could great for a decade.
Yeah.
So we was brown paper bag guys, but when we won, it was a party. So we were trained that you only get the goods when you perform and you win. So it was a different time, different era, and most of us was broke. So we couldn't make extra money unless we won.
Gotcha.
I ain't mad at these guys. I'd prefer to be in their shoes, okay?
Right.
Rich and not bust a grape. But it is what it is. And this new group they have now is about to flip the script. If they stay healthy, this group will flip the script.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe? Well, because I love it because you just segue into my question, so it don't even matter what order they in. You just segue into them. Do you believe this generation, maybe a generation before this one, do you believe that they know how to overcome adversity, whether it's dealing with coaching, right, or adversity through the game? And the reason I'm asking this question is because you see from Pee Wee football, from Little League to high school to college, that if they don't get their way, they just go somewhere else.
Well, the NCAA has allowed guys now. I'm going to say something that's going to be crazy. I hate the portal, but I love how it's elevated college football.
Right.
Because now instead of having garbage at quarterback, you are thinner because guys that don't want to be backups go become starters.
Right.
So it has elevated the entire game.
Right.
Unless the school they leave gets hit by the injury bug.
Okay.
So in that respect, it's a better quality of football, like the NFL. 32 teams, 12 quarterbacks. The rest of them, you could chop their heads off and nobody would notice.
Okay.
In college, it was the exact same way.
Okay.
If you went with the superpowers, you had a guy that wasn't very good.
Okay.
Now that's different.
Okay.
But I don't like a kid because he didn't win a job to exit stage left and go run to somebody else.
Right.
That I don't like. But I understand in the big picture,
Mm-hmm.
I want my kid taking reps and starting or being a backup. I want him playing.
Right.
So maybe we just got to live with this.
Okay.
And because what we got to do, we've got to produce better quarterbacks. Our game is dying with mediocrity.
Right.
Not only do you have a quarter of the coaches in the league are horrible, don't deserve their jobs.
Right.
Now you got guys at quarterback that are bums. Pretty soon this game won't be what it is. So we got to make the game more competitive. Look, when everybody was killing the East, I go, be careful.
Right.
We ain't no joke now.
Yeah.
But we the only division in pro football that everybody has a Lombardi.
Yep.
Don't be trying to mock us talking about we're down and all that. You better be careful.
Yeah.
Because in December, we become the exorcists. And in December, when the Giants went out there and tapped that tail on the Seahawks, that was a message. Then the football team went to Steel City and tapped that tail. So be careful what you ask for now when you start talking about my East.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
We get on a roll. See, we ain't fake. And neither is Pittsburgh. When Pittsburgh got it on a wild card, they're the only ones took it all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Let this team or let the Giants, they rushed the quarterback back too fast. That was bad move. They should have gave Colt one more shot.
Yep.
And get that kid because he wants to run. If he's got a bad wheel, you took part of his game away. He's not good enough yet. So you blew that. Let the football team handle success and keep marching forward. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. You don't understand the East. Even the Cowboys, as long as that kid that's eating is in that backfield, they got a shot. Now, he's too stupid to give him the ball. But eventually, as long as he's there, I don't care who's up front. He's a difference maker. So we got legitimate talent. This thing ain't over, man. It's going to be so interesting if the football team stays humble.
Stay humble. Don't read those press clips.
Attack mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if Simba got to play, he got to complete some passes.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame the arm he has on him not to get his footwork together so he can be the guy we all know he's capable of being.
And I think and let me know if I'm wrong, but I think to a certain degree that in the era I came up in and the era you were playing, because it wasn't a lot of money, right? Guys took time to work on their craft more. Sometimes it seems like guys are getting paid so much money that when the off season is over with, it's time to spend some of the money that I just made.
I wish I could I don't think it's a lack of effort on these kids' part. I really don't.
Okay.
And I ain't mad at the money. I'm glad they get money.
No, I want them to get money.
Most are broke when it's over.
Right.
It is so hard to transition into doing something that you make good enough money in not to be embarrassed.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You take $60,000, $70,000 a year or anything under 100.
Mm-hmm.
These guys may mock at it. What you talking about? Do you realize that 3/4 of the world you're making more? I mean, it's about reality. That's why any guy, and I violated a million rules.
Mm-hmm.
Any young man that's a professional that doesn't have a personal financial advisor, that someone or two of them, one to count the other guys. Coach Thompson told me, always have a guy hired to check the guy you hired.
Okay.
So somebody need to be checking somebody because you get one shot at this.
Gotcha.
But do you know how many great businessmen and entrepreneurs, Walt Disney in particular, that have been bankrupt?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Gotcha.
But making money is not easy for everybody.
Right.
But you got to work on yourself. A lot of these guys play way too many video games
Okay.
And hitting on that joystick way too much. You're supposed to chill in your 50s.
Right.
Your 20s and 30s, you need to be industrial. These cats got way too much playing games. No, dog, get out here now and hustle when you got a
Right.
little name recognition. You need to be
Right.
interning. I went to WMAL in 1989. I just said, hey, I want to hang out and watch Ken Beatrice. I want to see how this is done. I think I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in there, and they gave me a shift way too soon on Friday night. I'll never forget it. Ain't nobody called me. I'm throwing out the number 432 WML is the number. Nobody called. Fridays in the summer in DC, people going to Rehoboth. They going to the beach.
Okay.
I'm saying, well, how could this dude have all these calls? Well, because he had a trick. He had a trick to the trade.
Okay.
See, he understood how to generate what he needed.
Gotcha.
See, industry deal. I didn't know the game.
Right.
So I had to learn the game. But you sit through 3 hours mumbling back to yourself and making up stuff and answering your own questions. I've been there. And then so me and JJ Green, who's now at WTOP doing a great job.
Okay.
We spent many hours over there. I'm on once a week, Sundays at 2.
Right.
And I said, never again will I be caught the way I was caught because I assumed something.
Gotcha.
See, found out my boy was tricking the whole system. So then I understood that's what showmanship is all about.
Gotcha.
You're an entertainer in this business. This ain't about no sports.
Right.
It's about entertainment.
Yep.
And so you have to be able to have a game. And it taught me how to format, how to never come in without prepare. I was prepared for no calls the following week. I was hoping nobody called because I signed up my own guests. I had a format. So I understood that I had to produce and create content.
Right.
And then the rest of it is just about practicing. So 28 years later, I'm still in the game.
Gotcha.
Now, free agent or not, I'm still in the game. I still got skills.
Right.
And I can control what I do. I can sell product. I understood not a whole gamut to it because I'm not in it to be in it. I'm in it to win it and to be paid as a professional. Because that's what I've worked on. I've developed a skill set like everybody else in our culture to profit from. And so, 2021, I ain't the virus and all that.
Right.
The antibody ain't gonna be the only thing out there rolling, brother. Because DOC gonna be coming hard.
You got the formula.
Oh, man.
Just like the rap.
I'm built for this. No, I'm built for this. And what it really is that I've done this with bad content. The teams I've covered have been horrible. You think I can't work with this group?
Right.
Boy, you crazy. I'm telling you what. Don't give me something to shout about. And again, all I need is one more Lombardi, and it's the beach, it's sand.
It's the beach in the
sand. Because see, I wasn't built for all the snow and freeze and cold. I ain't built for this. See, I'm built for Hawaii. See, Cayman Islands or somewhere. I need to be somewhere that is tropical, that is sand, and people bring you what you want to drink, and you outdoors. See, that's so. But I still got work to do because I'm one more championship away.
You're almost there.
One more. What? But one more, buddy. It's been 20 years.
That's true.
You talking about Como? Dude,
this been since 91. It's been since 91.
Damn right. See, so what I'm asking for, what the Capitals and the Nationals showed us in the DMV, what we're capable of. Being on that mall, celebrating the Washington Capitals,
right,
and the Nationals, man, I had a ball. I was with my brothers in the business.
Right.
We were doing live broadcasts from downtown. Man, I go, this is it. Champion, winners. You know what I mean? They mocked us. They did a lot of things with us. Alex Ovechkin. I mean, they have the kind of players that we have in hockey.
He's a beast.
And they have, they have that pitching staff we have with the Nats. And they have all that here. And now we got a Bruin on the hard court. Westbrook's in town. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I thought about you when I saw that trade. I say, man, Doc.
Well, all I'm saying, and I love John off the court.
Right.
John Wall may not ever be equaled. He was that type of guy off the court.
Right.
What he did in the community, unmatched.
Gotcha.
He was a Hall of Famer off the field,
Field.
off the court.
Yeah.
What homeboy got to realize is that as you age, he was blessed with speed,
Right.
but he's not put enough into his game. You can fix your shot. And
Right.
there's nothing stopping you from playing defense when you're as athletic as he is.
Right.
So he couldn't make my team because I'm not going to kiss anybody's behind to be a complete player who's always talking about being an all-star.
Right.
So you talk about being an all-star,
But you ain't
I'm
putting the work
saying, won't
in.
you just be quiet and play? Because you got the gifts.
Right.
He was gifted, but he opted out. I don't tolerate nobody not going after in basketball. My guy, the Bruin,
Right.
now he may take a few shots that maybe he shouldn't.
But he gonna give you 100. He
You
gonna
can
play.
count on him for 82 straight.
Yeah.
He gonna be in your britches. See, he plays basketball all out.
Yep.
The whole way. So I'm like, give me that, and I'm with you. Y'all take your all-stars and all your personal achievement. Good luck.
He
Good
wants
luck.
to win.
I'm trying to win, and I think Bradley can get that done. I think he has got that notch on his belt now where he wants it.
Pure shooter.
Pure shooter. But if we play defense, and that's on the coach, because he keep playing them, they don't play defense, and you keep playing them. So
they ain't gonna play defense.
It's on you. Yeah. So that's where I'm done. I'm done. That's it.
Well, let me ask you this: what at your position you played, the almighty tight end position? Who are some? I never get into like who's the greatest because I think you can't, as you know, you can't compare eras or whatever.
John Mackey.
But who do you feel some of the great tight ends that you've seen in your day?
No, it's John Mackey. John Mackey and Mike Ditka. I mean, two guys, but the guys that I looked at, because I look at what system are they in.
Okay.
Raymond Chester, to me, I got a chance to play. There's so many guys, but it's based on your system.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the young man that played in Kansas City.
Tony.
Who?
Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah, Gonzalez. Hoopster out of Cal. Eloquent. What he brought to the game, he's a monster. Then I look and I say, well, what Gronk did and winning, I said, oh my God, because I want the guy who wins the most games.
Okay.
Who's not one-dimensional.
Gotcha.
You got to have a running game. If he's not willing to break his nose, I don't want him.
Gotcha.
Because I saw a guy play for maybe 14 years, and Donnie Warren.
Oh,
he would.
Donnie was always open because they just expected him to do nothing but block.
But let me tell you something, though. He'd knock your memory out your head, okay? And he didn't miss a lot of games.
Right.
He's in 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And that running game, and I have a great deal of respect, but I respect, like Kelsey, the game has changed.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I want Kelsey, and that boy in San Francisco is a savage.
Oh, Kittle
now. Kittle. Oh. I mean, but again, they're blessed with great coordinators. See, I love to play for Shanahan. You like Sharp. See, when his daddy had Sharp in Denver, he's a beast. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In what he could bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But this again, do you have the right system? Do you have the right coach? Do you win? Or do you just catch a lot of passes? So all of that comes in, and I never separate it. It's got to be system guy that wins for me. Okay. Or he's a guy getting a lot of stats, but he never wins. And I think you're responsible for winning because you have an influence in the passing game and the running game.
Right, as a tight end.
Yeah.
What do you think about a guy? He never gets mentioned a lot, but he came behind your era, but he was still built in that same mold, blocking tight end, but yet catch passes. And a guy like Ben Coates.
Oh, Big Ben in New England, in the beginning of the run, where they started being prominent. Boy, he nailed on that edge. I loved him. And again, it's like Hernandez.
Right.
taking off his take his off the field stuff away,
Yeah.
he would have been the best we've ever seen. Had he been disciplined enough to stay in the league.
Right.
Because we're talking about Kelsey receiving skills and could block like Gronk. He could do everything.
Yeah.
If he wanted to.
Yeah.
But you talking about a freak. And we've had some guys here. Some phenomenal. Clint Didier is a receiver.
Yeah.
And the kid we just had from Florida who's in San
Reed.
I love Reed. He's the best route runner I've ever seen in person.
Okay.
Yeah, as inside as a tight end. He's uncut. You cannot cover him.
Wow.
No. You cannot cover him.
Wow.
Now I haven't checked Kittle because I haven't broken him down to that point. Because nobody cares. Most people, they don't care if they win or not. They just care how many passes they catch. You got to win.
You got to win.
You have to win, because if you don't win, it's probably your fault. Because you got a reason to help the team in two areas where most guys don't.
Right.
So it's so critical. But I wouldn't have a team that didn't have a tight end and a fullback.
Gotcha.
See, that's why I love Shanahan's deal. I don't care how progressive you become, there's always a fullback on my team, because they ain't a football team without a fullback and a middle linebacker. And to me, it's like there are two guys that set the tone. The middle linebacker on defense and the fullback on offense. They set the tone.
So is that, let me ask you this. So since a lot of teams kind of went away from the fullback, is that why sometimes you see the Mike linebacker, that middle linebacker, just shooting the gap? You know how because there's only the only person he's meeting is the running back.
Yeah.
Versus,
and don't get me wrong, I love and I'm the biggest fan of the posse you'll ever see.
Right.
But because Joe did both well, he was ambidextrous. Posse, Riggs, Riggo.
Yeah.
I'm running.
Yep.
Joe Gibbs never, Timmy Smith, Brian Mitchell, he never not ran it. He never went past happy. He went scoring happy.
Right.
Oh, if you can't deal with the posse, we'll kill you that way. But as soon as we up by 14, guess what? We're going to two tight ends, a fullback, and we're going to pound, ground, and pound. He never got away from who he was.
Right.
You know, he wasn't out having to draw up, or what the thing I love about him, when they cover their face up.
Right.
Man, please. They not the ones now they got on the shield on, and they still covering their face. Y'all trying to trick people.
Yeah.
I just want to yell it out. 50 gut. Well, we did against Dallas back in the day. We ran it 12 straight times. See, that's what I'm talking about. Sooner or later, you just got to say, we are going to control the line of scrimmage, not you. And we're going to do it on both sides. That's why the football team is so nasty, because they front four. Let me tell you what.
Oh, they
John Allen and what's going on with the House of Pain and Settle, who going to settle, punching you in the face. And Ionitis, and let me tell you what better happen to
man.
You better get this together, because I don't like the forecast.
Right.
But I'm telling you, Matt Ionitis,
he's a bad boy.
He might be the best out of all of them, and he's not even playing. You mess around and let them guys, you let this group stay together and not let selfishness divide them, and greed. And they decide that they want to stand together like a band of brothers, it's over. I'm telling you right now, it's over. Because I'd rather be dominant on defense than having to trick you on every other possession offensively. And if Gibson, but I love me some Gibson. See, they just got a kid that was on the practice squad with the Chicago Bears that I love. We are running back. We got them. I like the guys, but none of them have been allowed to do it the way I like to see it done. That is bloody, I want the opponent to ask me to take him out.
Yeah.
Say, we take him out too soon. We so worried about, no, dude. They don't, but they'll get it. They'll do it.
No, trust me. I agree with you, because it's all across the league. A guy makes a 15-yard run, and now he got to go over to the sideline where I remember if a running back got 15 yards, he's looking at the quarterback. Give me the rock. Come on, come on.
That's right.
I'm in a. Come on, come
Feed
on,
me.
come on.
That's why I like my boy in Dallas.
Oh
See, he
yeah,
going to feed me. I'm eating.
yeah.
These coordinators, and again, Turner, he's coming along well. Look, this first time he's done it. You got to be realistic.
You got to grow into it. You got to grow
He's
into it.
growing. No, he's
Yeah,
growing.
yeah.
He's growing. I mean, he's had 2 game plans I've really been impressed with. He'll grow as he learns more about his players. I just hope that if Simba is in that ball game, that he sets his set up and go out there and show off.
You got to run it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
got
got
to
to
run
run
it.
it. But if Dwayne plays, I'm telling you what, and he puts that vertical game together with a running game and this defense. Now I'm hoping Smitty gets back healthy, because if Smith's in there,
Yeah,
he ain't gonna turn it over. It's a wrap. But I gotta know that I can still win. I gotta be able to win with all 3 quarterbacks,
correct.
because I don't want nothing to stop me. And it's because this defense with Sweat and Chase. Come on, man.
Do you feel that before the pandemic hit, they had the collective bargain agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they took away 2 preseason games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that these guys are going to regret that? And let me give you some content why I asked the question. Because of the fact with the pandemic, you already saw there was no preseason and training camp wasn't the same. You cutting guys that you don't know if they can play or not because you haven't seen them, and then you keeping guys that you probably should have cut. So when you go to 2 preseason games, right, you got to get the starters ready, and you really can't view, to see who else can make the team. Do
Yeah.
you think that was a bad decision on the NFLPA to accept that deal to cut 2 preseason games out?
No, I don't, because
Okay.
they were garbage anyway.
Hmm.
The last game is garbage. Nobody plays. The first game, they only play a series.
Right.
So you only playing 2 anyway. Don't
Okay.
waste my time with that. I'd
Okay.
rather see 18 regular season, 2 preseason, because you don't take it seriously.
Okay.
But they needed training camp. But with the virus, you just had to survive it. You
Okay.
may not have made all the great move, but you got to make a move. Somebody,
Okay.
you can't be the Big Ten, the Pac-12,
Right.
get caught in the middle, hold
Okay.
out. Now you're stuck with a mess.
Okay.
Now you
Okay.
come back, you got team that played Ohio State. We all know they're beastly.
Right.
But it just looks bad if I play 5 or 6 games, somebody else play 10.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is they could play 2 and whoop 90% of the teams in America. Okay. So let's cut to the trace, because it's about money.
Right.
Football is not a part-time endeavor.
Okay.
The body goes under so much stress, it needs stress to prepare itself.
Okay.
That's why contactless practices to me are garbage.
Okay.
If you don't tackle, how you gonna get a DB from college? He ain't never been in the NFL. He never gets to tackle. Now that it hurts the
Okay.
kids coming up.
Right.
As a coach, do I hit in practice, lose a starter, got to look
Mm-hmm.
you in the face at the press conference?
Mm-hmm.
It's a catch-22.
Okay.
What you have to do is make sure you got great assistant coaches so they can help free agents become stars.
Okay.
It's all about tutelage. It's all about getting a real live coach, not a friend of the family, not your fishing buddy,
Right.
not your college dorm guy,
Mm-hmm.
but a man who understands how to get another man better.
Gotcha.
You don't have depth, you're done with this league now. The practice squad should be 15. You ought to be able to suit up 60 if you need that on game day, because it's about the product for the people.
Right.
It's so damn greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Spend the money, just like our officials. Part-time? Are you serious?
Right.
Yeah, they are. Because Coach Thompson taught me, feed pigs, but you slaughter hogs. This league is greedy, man, beyond compare. It is so greedy. We deserve the best men in the world to be trained
Right.
to officiate this game.
Right.
And if these former players Some of it's on them out of laziness.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have more former guys be officials.
Wow. I'm glad you said, I have never heard the, I've always said like former guys should either be coaches or matter of fact, even be agents because they've learned the
Should be in
business through,
every phase of football.
okay. But I had never thought about what you just said.
Yeah,
Officiating. You're
yeah.
correct. I have never
Phil
thought about
McKinley.
that.
Phil McKinley played. He was part of the huge corporation at UCLA, and he's been in the league now at least 15 years or longer. It makes sense. It's like in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
but from a pension, from a stability standpoint, to me, like if you're talking to young people, I say you don't just have to play to be in pro sports.
True.
The analytics now has opened up a whole new area. Okay, training, film study, the administration. Stop just trying to be the player. Get in the
Correct.
game, because the game has a lot of benefits that a lot of our people don't ever get to cash in on, because we take the short money and then go
Right.
spend it all, and then you caught with nothing, and they have no use for you. It's not bad on them. It's business.
It's business.
You don't have a
Right.
skill set, what I'm gonna do? Invite you to a game once a year? You can keep that. I'm better than that. Yeah, you can keep that.
They say once a year invite you to
No, for what you give this sport, the fact that they think so little of you that you'd be invited once a year
Right.
when you play the sport and sold your body out, and you stuck with permanent injuries.
Yeah.
You've given something, and if somebody doesn't think enough of you, then one game, nah, dude, then keep it.
I'm gonna start broadcasting that even more because that was brilliant, Doc. I have never heard anyone say that. Also officiating, because and I've said the same thing that you said, that you can be part of sports without playing the game.
Oh
I
yeah,
I told someone, I said, I'm not gonna even lie. If I had the background that Johnny Manziel had, I wouldn't have been playing. I probably would still be in college because what I'm trying to get granddaddy to do, I don't want to play for the team. We need to buy it. I need to
yeah, but
buy the
he's for
team.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's for
When
money.
when you come from money, I'm not trying to play. I need to own the team.
Oh yeah. Oh, it would be. You know how much fun it would be to actually be a part of an organization that where you could actually contribute to the growth and the development of the team. I mean, after seeing it done so poorly, that's the most frustrating part to me. And no one will even ask you. That's when you know it's a bad system. When the people who are responsible for the outcome,
Right.
they don't even ask you what your opinion is, which tells me they don't care, because they don't have to win to make money.
Nope, not in sport. When you got those TV deals, now
TV.
I always tell people, baseball, you got to start winning because there's no cap. So now it's your money. But when you're in football and you're in the NBA where we share TV money, I can lose if I can. All I need is really one player on the team that everybody loves and like
Yeah.
for merchandising.
One
But with
box
the
office
TV,
guy.
yeah,
Well, the
and
Bucks, you just described the Milwaukee Bucks. And Ken Tupo, what he just did, he saved their life.
yeah,
He saved their life. Now, they were smart enough to go all in for him with the facility, the city. Hell, I would have made him mayor. I would have done whatever it takes, because if he leaves, like Jabbar did, like the Big O, like
yep.
everybody that's come through there, you die for a decade. And now Milwaukee, which has a lot of flavor. I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay.
Don't sleep on Milwaukee.
Okay. Okay.
I was shocked every time I was doing Viking
Uh huh.
games over the years, doing college games, Gopher games back in the day. The city shocked me. So it's got a lot of flavor,
Okay.
but it's got passion,
Okay.
and it's really that Viking thing. I mean, they've got a nice little thing going up there. I
Mm-hmm.
give them a lot of respect, but that man is going to own that state. That state has a lot of passion. I mean, Packer fan, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's crazy I mean, they might be there. If they're not number one, they're top 3 in the world in terms of fan support.
Oh yeah, I saw them do a thing on the Packers on Sunday. Everything is shut down.
Oh no,
Ain't
no,
ain't nothing open but the church, and by 1 o'clock, the church ain't even open.
yeah, it to be embraced the way they do you in Milwaukee reminds me of DC in the 80s and the 70s. Because
Yeah.
I talked to Brig Owens, Roy Jefferson, these guys, George Stark, and what they tell me that this thing just didn't happen in the 80s. It's been going on.
Gotcha.
The loyalty of the fans that went to RFK, unmatched.
Oh yeah, man.
Unmatched. They made more noise. 55,000 made more noise than these 100,000. See, that they were unmatched.
I loved our RFK. This is actually what I got in my background.
Oh no, believe me, you think I don't know that?
Oh, I know you know. So that, but because you guys had that thing shaking, my 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 final question for you, what I
Okay.
wanted, what I wanted to know, for you from you is what was what was Doc Walker like in his 20s, and where's Doc Walker today?
Well, you a fool in your 20s compared to in your 60s, but I say blessed to be around. I've always had a great crew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you become a large part of the people you hang around the most.
Right.
They have the biggest influence on your life. And that's why I've been supremely blessed in that, man, we got a crew it's a brotherhood that's unbelievable because, a lot of us played together. Some didn't play
Right.
together. We grew up together. I mean, one of my dogs, my little league catcher, Lionel Cooks, we met in the 2nd grade. We still
Wow.
dogs.
Wow.
My college
Yeah.
roommate, Nichols in California, Stevens in Southern
Mm-hmm.
California, my boy Carpenter, here right now, guys, I play with Vernon Dean. These dudes, Vernon's from LA,
Mm-hmm.
Ray Bell, Bruin from Berkeley,
Okay.
Phil Chenier from Berkeley. These people, um, they're still here. They're still
Okay.
around. I've got some people 50-year relationships with.
Wow.
30, 40.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like not fly by night. You people in the game, I'm doing a deal called the Legacy
Mm-hmm.
that through the Washington football team that allows me to connect and to get with some guys that even enhances what we're talking about.
Right.
Because Joe Washington,
Remember
Mike
Joe?
Nelms, guys I went to war with, Jacoby,
Mm-hmm.
Grimm, Bostic, that group of hogs, George Stark, man, that is the hours that we,
Mm-hmm.
labored over film
Mm-hmm.
and Bud Light. It's priceless, man. And so I think, and then because I've been fortunate enough to have been associated with the team for many, many years,
Right.
and to travel and to see these kids grow. And when I say kids,
Mm-hmm.
because I watched Dwayne Haskins play at Bullis in high school.
Wow.
Lamont Jordan, these kids, I covered the games when I was doing college football. I did college
Sure.
football for 22 years. So I've actually seen their high school games, their
Right.
college games, and a guy like Sean Springs, his entire career, because I recruited his father, who ended
Yep.
up going to Ohio State.
Yeah.
So Ron and I, so dog, and I'm like, so this kid that he took me out to see play over at practice at Howard University, where Ron was coaching,
Mm-hmm.
was his kid, 8th grader. He had him out there covering college guys.
Wow.
So I'm proud of Sean, who's got a contract now, defense contract, multi-million-dollar deal. I'm so proud of him
Right.
because I've seen these guys grow up. The one thing age gives you is
Uh-huh.
it gives you a lot of reps. You get
Gotcha.
a lot of reps. And so, but I'm striving to get better and just striving to get better. And in the meantime, a guy like Ralph Wesley, who went to Delaware State, who was
Mm-hmm.
my first producer, when I went solo in radio, and
Uh-huh.
I met him because they put most of the African American kids that come in, they put them in PR, they put them in promotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, "What do you want to do?" He says, "I want to be a voiceover guy. I want to do that." I said, "Cool." So I was able to get him in with no experience, like others do for others,
Right.
and he's still in the game until he decided to walk away as the voice of the Wizards.
Wow.
And he does the sound right now for the Washington football team. He's the voice you hear on all that.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. For what Brig Owens provided for me, and what that is leadership and mentorship of saying, Brig said, "I suggest you do this," because he'd been here and he understood it.
Gotcha.
You follow that. Then
Okay.
you go back and do it. And for me, my dog is Brian Mitchell, because
Yeah,
I've
B
always
Mitch.
been, Mitch has always been my guy to go, because I see what's in him.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, he can do all this. And you ever talk to him? He was in Philadelphia. I said, "Dude, when you coming back, man? I can't do all this by myself." I said, "I need you
Wow.
back, dog." He came back. I'm so proud of him, because he knocks it out the park, and he constantly is striving to be better. And he's relentless.
He's to me. I always say he's a baby Doc Walker.
Well, no,
He's.
but yeah, but what he is a grown ass Brian Mitchell. And I'm telling you, and his father,
I've been
I
trying to get
know.
a hold of B Mitch.
Oh, let me tell you something. I love him so much, because I just want to be a small, itty bitty part
Mm-hmm.
of whatever he does, because I know when he does it, he's going all out. He's not going to cut a corner. He
Right.
does not cut corners. He coming at you hard. If he's cooking, he ain't
Mm-hmm.
cutting the corner. The boy is unbelievable in the kitchen.
Okay.
So when I see somebody like that, of course I got to interview him playing. My
Right.
boy Kedrick Golston. Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah, I remember Ghosting. That's a
I'm
bulldog.
so proud of that Bulldog. He got so much game. He just needs a shot. He needs a way. Just let him go. Let him go do his thing, because he's loaded with talent. He's supposed to be in pro football. It's a sin. The guys like Tony McGee,
Remember Tony?
another one, a mentor of mine, who wanted to coach. He wanted to be in football, and they never opened the door for him. Charles Mann wanted to coach. Chuck's loaded with skills.
Oh
Okay,
man, Chuck,
we
man.
we can't get in. That's my point.
I know what you talking
These
about.
guys all wanted to be a part of this football team, and they've never been allowed access. Never been allowed access.
And
And
that's a
so,
shame, because it's a rich
hey,
tradition. And you guys weren't just any kind of player.
oh
Like
man,
you guys wasn't just a guy. You guys were like the staples, the heartbeat, the. I mean,
World Grant,
you had,
World Grant,
yeah,
monster.
monster.
Yeah.
I still remember that Dallas game. The
Yeah. Oh, that spike. Look. My pain comes from all the guys I know that wanted to do things that have never been given a chance to do it. And yet every time somebody opens their mouth over there, they talking about the tradition and the teams. You speak with a forked tongue. Stop it.
I
just
I
go ahead
know,
and do what you
because
got to do.
I saw an interview that Charles Mann did,
Mm-hmm.
and he talked about going to a reunion
Oh,
in
49ers.
49ers,
Yeah, they treat
and
him like royalty.
got more love for some place where he was
Yeah,
only there for a year
yeah,
than
yeah.
somewhere where he helped build a dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
See,
crazy.
I think that Doug Williams is going to be a big part of fixing this. And we also have a new president
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
going to do a lot to fix this. Because he played
yep,
and he understands it. And I do believe that because the battle cry, there are people who want to do something, need an opportunity to do it. And let's stop selling this bill of goods that's the false narrative.
right,
And let's just man up and say, everybody is capable of making mistakes,
sure,
but let's be a little bit more open as to who we allow opportunities to. I'd like to fail at something as well. I'd like to have a chance to
to
fail.
fail, right.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. And if they don't, then they don't. because it's never will control my narrative whatsoever.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
doing it for thrill.
they don't make you nor break you. So yeah. So and Doug is underrated because I tell people all the time.
Oh,
I say, listen, that move, they can say what they want to say, but that move to bring AP here, AP should have retired here
no question.
because he's still running hard. He's
Yeah.
still doing, and it goes back to what you said. How do you know he doesn't have it anymore if you don't give him the ball to see if he doesn't have it anymore? All you doing really is keeping him more fresh.
Yeah, and I have a policy that during the season, I'm all for you.
Right.
I'll cut you up in the off season when we start talking about why you failed, but I don't do it in the process of it because right now I love him, but he ain't on my team,
Yeah.
and I got a victim that needs to be dealt with on Sunday, and it's the Seahawks, and so
Oh yeah, they
I'm
got yeah.
all for the football team right now
Oh yeah,
because it's
same here.
football season.
Well, listen, I one thing before I let you go, I feel like this if you just be patient, I'm talking about the football team,
Yeah.
because they don't come out of that cover three. They don't come out of it. They run that cover three
Oh
the
yeah.
whole time,
All
and
the time.
they have a good team, but the defense gives up. If like you say, if what is it, Turner, if Turner calls a good game
It's all on him.
and just set them up and make for
All on
matter of
him.
fact, if you run the ball just like you said, force the safety to come in the box,
Yeah.
force
Yeah.
him to come down.
Yeah. Look, Scary Terry is not 100%.
No,
Okay.
but they rolling the
Look,
coverage to him too.
there you go. But he shows up. So it's time for Cam. And
They
it's
got
all, let me tell you what.
uh
If Simba has to play,
uh
this is his moment
yeah,
of redemption. Because he got the gun
he got
that's
the gun.
needed to keep them safeties at bay.
Yeah,
He got Cam, he got Scary, Ingman. He's got the tools. And 82, he ain't no
yeah,
joke. Okay. So, and this is where I give Scott a lot of credit. He's been so imaginative. He's done a lot of things that make defensive coordinators sit up and wonder about him. Now I'm saying, now that you've established that, now go back to the overhand right cross. See, and just bury him. Because you got the knockout punch. Because that defense, and let me tell you what, you saw my boy Hopkins, right?
yeah.
See, we Tress Way's punting. The
Flip
hop is
the
kicking it.
flip, man. He's
My boy,
flip.
look, we flipping fields, man. We actually had a return of 12 yards. I see this thing growing, man. It's like a big old pot of gumbo. You just smelling it. And it's getting right. I'm telling
And
you,
and
I'd be
from what I
so
hear,
disappointed we didn't post.
and the attitude I hear they have right
Oh,
now,
it's a good group of guys.
which is like we ain't satisfied. Okay, we did that. On to the next game. Not in years past where we still
Oh, we
celebrating.
still be patting ourselves on the back.
Yeah,
Look, I love Swearinger when he was playing well,
yeah,
but that's not the attitude of a team I'm looking for.
yeah.
You talk too much. That's an internal function. Then I'm not supposed to know their business.
Right.
Guy called me. I was doing a show with Solomon Wilcox and Cafferty in
McCaffrey, Ed
yeah,
McCaffrey.
it with Ed. And they asked me that, well, do you think Alex is going to Smith's going to play? I said, they'd be the dumbest group in America if they gave us any information.
Right.
I wouldn't tell you anything about Alex. As a matter of fact, and I love that about Ron. Yeah, I ain't tell you nothing.
He day to
You
day.
wait and see. For Dwayne Haskins, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. Okay. For him, and even if Dwayne came in the game and played and threw for 300 yards and they won, I'm starting Smitty the next week.
Oh, of course.
You are earning your right to be a part of this organization. We're paying you to perform.
Right.
You did your job. But Smitty, in my opinion, right now, gives you the best chance with this defense. All I need you to be is error-free and keep us moving forward. Just get first downs. Chew up that clock and pick your spots. Because he'll launch it if you need to. This is a man, I grew up with the fearsome foursome purple
Yeah.
eaters. People purple. I seen all them physical fronts. Steel curtain. I played against Joe Green, the white first Monday night game. LC Green, cussing you out at the line of scrimmage, telling you what you bet not do to them and stuff. There's nothing that impacts a game more than a quarterback than them four goons. And we got four of them. We got 5 or 6 of them, really.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
Kerrigan, and Settle, don't sleep on them.
I'm just waiting. And you said this a while, and I saw in the interview. I'm waiting them to do what you said. Catch a team, and I really would love to do it when they flip the field, get somebody on the 5 or 10 yard line
Yeah.
and have a 91 in. You got Young in. You got all the pass rush. I'm not gonna even
The
blitz.
Eagles do it. They call it
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
when they bring all their pass rush in, they come after you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And play zone behind it because I'm gonna force you to get the ball out your hand quick.
Yeah.
And there's a pick six.
You know who first showed me that? The Dallas Cowboys, when I forget the coordinator was there, but Dennis Thurman was there. Because Dennis is my boy. He's a Trojan.
Okay.
But he's from Santa Monica. We've been battling our whole lives. But I got none but love for him. They didn't allow on third. They coming at you. They forced you to get rid of the ball. They dictated to what the play was going to be because you had no other choice.
Right.
That's what I want to see. Because we got the people that can get there. But
yeah.
now that our secondary is no longer playing prevent, they getting up on people now. We was in prevent mode, see?
Yeah.
That last week game, I said, oh, yeah. Cameron Curl.
He's going to be.
And my boy is 22. Let me tell you something. DeShazer Everett, he's an animal.
All I was hoping when he got hurt, I said, you better not put Troy Apke in the game. You better not put Troy Apke.
I don't know the extent of his injury, but if 22 is out there, he's scaring the hell out of people. That kid, Lamb, is good. That's in Dallas. He must have dropped everything came. He didn't want nothing to do with DeShazer Everett. DeShazer split 3 people in half as soon as he started playing again. Yeah. These dudes ain't built for that. They don't hit. They don't want nothing to do with that contact. And if Apke comes in, hey, man, you got a skill set. Just play up. Do your job. How hard is it not to let somebody get behind you when you run 4-4?
Hey.
That's it.
It's like they say, only 2 things going to happen in this game. You either going to hit or you going to get hit. And it don't even matter. It doesn't even matter what side of the ball you on.
No. But we need him to play well. We needed corner help. We're getting it. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, Fuller is quietly having a huge year.
Yeah.
Because they don't throw at him that much.
No.
Which means he's erasing his guy.
He's a player. But his whole family. I'd love to get his brother in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they re-signed him. I'm hoping, hey, man, why don't y'all bring them on home? Them Fuller boys. I hope they invite me to their family reunion, boy. It's going to be some, you talk about gourmet food. A whole family full of ballers.
Let me ask you this last question. I know I said answer, but something just popped in my head, and you've been in the DMV for so long. I got to ask you this question. Why didn't we bring, when he became a free agent, number 7 when he left Atlanta, Michael Vick? You talking about a guy who played at Virginia Tech. You talking about a homegrown must-see TV.
Yeah. You know something though? Even Mike would say this.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of covering Virginia Tech when Mike was there. West Virginia, Virginia Tech. I had some of my best moments. I covered the Sugar Bowl, Virginia Tech against Texas. I got to cover Mike's career, college and pro. Depending on who was our coach, I don't know if Mike was ready to see if he was ready to do what you needed to do if Joe was here. You know what I mean? Because Mike will tell you to this day he was not a student of the game at that point.
No, I'm talking about when he came out, when he was coming back, when he got out of jail and he was coming back.
Yeah, well, again, it would have been, and he's the first to say it.
Yeah.
Had he approached this game the way Mahomes and those guys approach the game,
yeah, forget about it.
He'd be just like my boy in Baltimore, because he was he reminds me the most when I watch the Ravens play, the only person I think of is Mike Vick. I don't think of any other quarterbacks at any other time because Mike, it is when you watch it from ground level, it takes your breath away.
Oh yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him live. Mike, yeah, TV doesn't do
Oh,
Mike
TV don't do him
just
no justice. I mean, you asked me, and I love my homie, but if you ask me, who would you pay to see?
Oh, it's number 7, dog. It's number 7. And listen, I love Lamar, but and you can say I'm wrong, but
No, it's your opinion.
he ain't number 7, man. I
No, but
like
I'm gonna
Lamar.
tell you what.
Cause Vic, you know what Vic had? Vic had I always said Vic was Dion playing quarterback.
Right.
Far as he had the quickness and the speed,
Yeah.
and then he would throw 60, 70 yards with a flick of a wrist. Like I don't even know if we ever seen Vic really throw hard as he could.
No, and that's where Mahomes has. Mahomes has some Vic in him as well. All of them do because he's
Right.
elusive, even not being as fast.
Right.
Well, Baltimore is showing you it's world class. It's OJ's speed. Fastest guy I've ever seen on the field level is OJ Simpson.
Okay.
I'm watching the other day. This kid, he looked like he just ran out of bounds. He got 10 yards. He gets 10 yards as quick as any human being I've ever seen. And even in Louisville, he's breathtaking to me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like when I watch the Ravens, I'm like, you can't miss a play because you don't know. And to me, and there's a lot of quarterbacks right now. I love the kid up in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I love him. I mean, they come in all shapes, sizes, and forms.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy I'm not into the gadget offense. But if you think I don't respect what Kyler Murray has done, you don't know football, man.
Ooh.
You know, it's like ice cream. You know, I'm not a Neapolitan guy, but I like ice cream.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Kyler Murray, watching him I was scared to death. You're never out of it. Because on any play you break down and you're undisciplined, 30. See? And that's why Russell Wilson is
He's a master of it. He's a master of it.
He's a master. He's a pitcher that don't throw 100. He hits his fastball, clocks out at 97.
But that changeup.
But that off-speed stuff, you cannot hit him. It's like Scherzer to me. Max, I like a guy that can be overpowering, but he don't have to be to get you out.
Right.
You know, and that's why pitching is the best example of it to me because these quarterbacks, and there's so many of them now.
Right.
And let me tell you something. I've never mentioned the quarterback position and not mentioned Aaron Rodgers because he makes it look, he's the most gifted.
He makes it look easier than anybody.
He holds talent hostage. I mean, it's like Aaron does things that others are not capable, like Mahomes. See, him and Mahomes have more of a tie-in to me.
Yeah.
Than some of the freakish throws they do.
Yeah.
And what they can get you done on.
Yeah.
They come in all shapes and sizes. And now that the league has stopped being racist, we're starting to see the whole development of the sport and from a collegiate level because college has become more pro now.
Right.
Because we've stopped this ridiculous denial that we weren't trying to control the game. And yeah, you were.
Yeah, you
did it racist. You did it systematically. And when we talk about systemic racism, it's no greater example
than that. Yeah.
And I grew up as a kid, but I had coaches in Jim Womack and in Little League that would explain to me that it's not fair, but here's what you need to know. Mike Rush told me in high school, at Santa Ana Valley High School, that you play quarterback as a freshman, but you're not going to be able to do that. You will not be able to go to college.
Wow.
And I said, okay. So I played safety and played X. But these white guys, if they had not shown me so much love, to be honest with me, you 13, 14, 15, 16.
Sure.
What do you mean? What did I do? You didn't do anything wrong. This is just the way it is.
Yeah.
See, that's why I go, thank you. So as a result of that, We got to be able to talk about things that other people are uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable with it out of a weakness that's on them. Also,
Right.
safety guard, because they don't want to really reveal who they are. Well, I coached in this area for 7 years. I coach them all the exact same. It taught me don't ever make a kid feel like he can't do something.
Gotcha.
No, he can do everything that they're willing to put the work
Work
into.
in. Right.
I explained it to him because the youth coaching and you giving back, to me, any guy who played should give back, X amount of years that they can consider it. That's mandatory for those that it costs you money to coach youth because they hungry. I was hungry. He'd take me to McDonald's every time we won. So I did the same thing. You have got to give back to the kids in honor of the youth coaches that didn't make a dime. It cost them money to coach me.
Yeah.
And so I've always felt that way. And that's why, I love every area of youth sports,
Gotcha.
in particular football, because it's the hardest one to deal with when you're young.
Sure.
And, your parents might not have had a car like we didn't. It's hard, man, walking with cleats home. You got to walk 2 miles home and you got a uniform on and you hungry. I remember all them days and what that was like, but and just somebody might pick you up, and we lived in a world then that you didn't have to be worried about as many things you have to be worried now.
Sure. Yeah.
Now you tell your kids, don't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
That's the world and how it's changed, when we were young as to right now.
You're correct. Well, I appreciate your time, your candor, as I'm a big fan of yours as always. And once again, I thank you for coming on the show, blessing us with your presence. Once we make the playoffs, right? I want to bring you back on before the game, and let's break down this game.
I mean, I appreciate that you're in the business, and I'm
Well,
proud
thank
of
you.
you. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, sir. You don't know how much that means.
Oh no, because we have to go through obstacles that others don't.
Yeah.
If they ever tell you that it's fair, they're lying. Okay, and so and I'm a perfect example of that. That it don't matter who you are or whatever you are. There's a power, there's a force out there that's intimidated by your presence, and so you have to hold yourself at a higher standard.
Okay.
Go hate my game because the people determine what works in this. It's called ratings. It's called people following you. It's called people who want to hear you. The executives and the people that make these jackass decisions on that, they can't stop it. You can't be stopped if the people don't want it to be stopped. That's why I'm all for the people, all the way, and I shall return.
I appreciate it. Stay blessed and stay safe as always, Doc.
Peace, my brother.
Peace.